Hi, Dickinson High School seniors. This is Haley Jackson, the College of Career Counselor at Dickinson High School. It's now time to talk about financial aid because the FAFSA application opens tomorrow, October 1st. And so we're going to talk about kind of the purpose and what the resources we have available through the College and Career Center regarding financial aid. So, like I mentioned, the purpose, so FAFSA opens tomorrow, and the purpose of the FAFSA, it's a free application for federal student aid. So that means that the federal government will look at income for you and your parent and determine whether they can support you with finances in order to go to college. So it is very important to get that application completed. We're also going to talk about the other application, the TASPA, based on residency status. So on the College and Career website, so to get there, we will go under quick links on the main Dickinson High School page, and we have College and Career Center. There is a tab for financial aid. And so to start out with, like I mentioned, there's two applications for financial aid, and it depends on your residency status, which of those applications you fill out. So if you fall under any of these statuses here, then you would be completing the FAFSA. If you fall under the final status here, then it would be the TASPA, or the Texas application for student aid. So we scroll down. I do have both links to both of those applications here. So we're going to go to the FAFSA one first. You can see what that site looks like. Okay. And for our students new to the process, meaning you have never completed a FAFSA for yourself, which should be true if you're a senior, then you would go new to FAFSA process and say start here. There's a ton of great resources that the Federal Student Aid program has put on their sites. A lot of the types of financial aid, why would you fill out the FAFSA, and how to complete it as well. So there's some things that I have put on the College of Career site from here, but it's a great resource in itself to use as you're completing the FAFSA. So back to the College of Career site, the TASPA is the other application, again, based on your residency status. So when I click on TASPA, it's going to take me to College for All Texans. And so just know until October 1st, the FAFSA or the TASPA application will not be the correct one until it says 2122. So make sure that when you come back here, if you're completing the TASPA application, then it's 2122. So same thing for actually the FAFSA as well. Again, it opens October 1st. It actually says down here that they've shut it down until then to load the new application. Okay, so back to the College and Career page. So some tips for completing the FAFSA, and these do also apply for the TASPA as well. So for TASPA or FAFSA, it opens October 1st, same thing for TASPA. Know that if you saw on the TASPA, it is a paper application through College for All Texans. They do not have it fully online at a state level. However, some colleges do have an online version of the TASPA that you can complete on their portal. So check with your colleges if you are having to complete a TASPA based on your residency status. Make sure that if you have the option to complete it online through the college you're applying to, then you definitely can do that as well. Okay, so October 1st, it opens, and I do have a list of documents that you may need as you get prepared to start that application, so you can make sure that you have all the information to complete it. So one of the most important things is to have your tax return information. And the most important part here, because we do want you to use the IRS data retrieval tool, is to know the address that is on your tax return. So that's why it's important to actually have the physical tax return so that you can see what address it was filed under, so that that information can match up and you can use that data retrieval tool that's built into the FAFSA application. So it is going to be your 2019 tax returns for the fall 2021 enrollment. So make sure that it's this 2019 tax return. Okay, so the other things you're going to need: Social Security numbers for parents and students, birthdays. When it talks about FAFSA username and password. We call this an FSA ID. And so anytime they say FSA ID, that just means login. So your parent has to have one and student has to have one in order to be able to complete the FAFSA. So student has to have it so they can log in and complete it. Parent has to have one so they can sign the student's FAFSA saying that the information about their finances was correct. Okay. So there's some other information that if it applies to your situation that you may have to provide. So I just gave you some examples of what you might have to answer, certain dates, certain numbers that you may need to know, or programs that you're involved in, so that when they ask those questions, you're not surprised. You kind of know that you're how to answer them. Okay. So I talked about the IRS data retrieval tool. So built into the FAFSA application, using your FSA ID, you can get your information brought over into the system from the IRS. So if you are able to get all that information linked up, all of the information matches up, address, name, exactly the way it appears on your taxes, then you will be able to use that data retrieval tool, and then you wouldn't have to put in all the information from the tax return itself. It will import all those numbers into the financial aid application. So it's a great tool so that you're not having to try to figure out what to put in the boxes. And it also cuts down on the likelihood that you might be selected for verification. So when you are done with the FAFSA, you do get an SAR, or a student aid report. And so as soon as you have that student aid report, you need to read it very carefully. One of the things you're going to read it for is, are you selected for verification? What that means is that you have to provide additional information to all the colleges that you applied to in order to verify the information you put on your FAFSA. So one of the other links down here, requesting a tax transcript, this document is required if you are selected for verification, because they are going to want to see exactly what the IRS has on file for you for taxes. So they're going to ask for a tax transcript. So if you use the IRS data retrieval tool, it cuts down exponentially on your likelihood that you will get selected for verification, because the information is already coming from the IRS. So it is imperative that we try to make sure that that data retrieval tool works whenever you're completing the FAFSA, so that we can avoid trying to be selected for verification, because it does take extra time, extra effort in order to provide documents to all the colleges that you need to send your FAFSA to in order to get out of verification and be able to actually get your financial aid package. So just know on the FAFSA, you're designating what schools you want your FAFSA to go to, and it goes to them directly as soon as you submit. So then you're following up with the schools themselves. The school is the one who puts the financial aid package together. So nothing comes directly from the federal government to you to give to the schools. The schools look at the FAFSA. They determine grants, loans, work study opportunities that they're able to offer you based on the information on it. And they will put the financial aid package together and distribute that to you from their financial aid office. Most schools, they're going to communicate FAFSA information through the portals that you create when you apply, and through the emails that you do put in whenever you apply. So make sure you're checking emails regularly after applications and sending your FAFSA in, and that you are checking any portal information. If you have a portal login, creating those logins and checking the financial aid portion of those portals to make sure that you aren't missing anything that they're asking you to complete to get that financial aid package ready to go. Okay. So there's a few more resources on here. So these videos here, like I mentioned, whenever we were on the application site for the FAFSA, they have tons of resources, but I did go ahead and put some of their best videos or playlist of kind of support for completing the FAFSA here. So if you drop that down, it'll show you the videos that you can choose from, and you can play them directly in the screen here. And I do advise watching probably all of them. Okay. There you go. Okay. So that first one is talking about kind of how to create that FSA ID. Another great resource that there's a company that has partnered with College Board to offer text help with the FAFSA is here. It's a chat bot called Meet Wyatt. So let me click on that. It's not open yet, of course, because it's not October. Actually, it looks like it's a little bit different here. Okay, it's asking about the opportunity scholarships, which are important. But down here, let's see. Yeah, it does look a little bit different because it looks like they're about ready to get it started. So you're going to be able to join and be able to get text help with the FAFSA as you go. So it's another great resource to use on the spot if you just have a quick question about what you need to do specifically on your FAFSA. So the last resource here through the College and Career Center, we are going to offer appointments. So there's two places right here next to my name. There's a book an appointment toggle. Also under the calendar, there's a toggle as well for booking appointments. So when you click on that, there's different appointments that you can book. There is one for financial aid specifically. You can book any one. It helps guide us in the College and Career Center to be able to prepare for our meeting. It does send you a video conferencing link whenever you register. So just as an example, if I click that, and then I can choose a date that I am available. So whatever times or dates that are available will populate here. All you have to put in is your name and email address. This can be for parent or student. And then none of the other information is required in order to schedule. So just name and email. Please give me first and last name so I know exactly who I'm talking to. And then you agree to the cancellation policy and continue. You'll get a confirmation of the appointment. I will get a notification of the appointment being made. You'll get a reminder of the appointment, and then in that reminder, you'll get the video link so that we can meet at the time scheduled. So I am here to help with all of these, financial aid and any questions you may have. Definitely use the resources on the College and Career Center page. The resources are coming straight from the horse's mouth. They are especially from the videos that are produced by the Federal Student Aid Office are going to be the most helpful things. But I definitely want to say that if you don't feel stuck, don't feel lost in the process, please make an appointment. If you don't want to make an appointment, we don't need that much time. You just have a quick question. You can shoot me an email at hjackson@dickinsonisd.org, or you can give me a call. My direct line is 281-229-6429. Hope to hear from you.